If you've ever felt like you couldn't say the things that you wanted to say, almost like there's a frog in your throat, my interview today with Miranda Mitchell is going to blow your mind. She is a human design and embodied voice mentor, really showing people how to decondition and uncover what your authentic voice is. And I can tell you that a lot of clients that I've seen could really use Miranda's work. They have something, some block, some deconditioning work to do in order for them to truly stand in that confident voice that they have. So really excited about this conversation with her. It's a juicy one. So dive in. And she also has a really awesome freebie. Check the show notes on prosperity codes based on Gates. So cool. And I hope you enjoy. Miranda, I'm so excited for our conversation. Let's just start with how you landed into human design and what you do now using human design, because I feel like we all use it in a different way. And I love the way that you do.
Oh, thank you. It's actually been a long journey of self-realization and kind of going into some of my shadows and some experiences that I created beliefs about when I was younger. So I can just do a quick kind of overview. When I was younger, I'm the oldest of, well, it depends if you're considering half siblings, but I'm the oldest truly of 8. I have 2 sisters that live up north, and then there were 6 of us that lived together. And my mother she was always taking everything in, like including other people and dogs and all the animals. But she never was really attentive to us. We basically were on our own. We had no like guidance and schooling. We lived way out in the boondocks in Vermont, where I know everyone always talks about, oh, I had to walk a mile to catch a bus. Well, we seriously did. So it was all about like, we didn't have that support. So we woke up when we wanted to, we went to school when we wanted to, we didn't have, like, we weren't pushed in anything. And I always felt like there was more for me. Like I always felt like I want more, right? So within that, there were some things that happened within our house that I tried to speak up about. And my mother, I don't blame her at all. I know she's in her own journey, but she didn't really listen. She didn't believe me. She actually blamed me. And I was between 9 and 12 at the time. And I feel like that at that point in time, that is when I made the choice of, I'm not being supported here. I'm leaving. So I left my house at 14 and I lived with friends. I ended up partying a lot, constantly on the go, did not love myself at all. I didn't know who I was. I was just constantly in the external. So fast forward, that was my life. A lot of it was just about not loving myself, not supporting myself, not having guidance. I was all over the place. Then when I got pregnant with my first son, it actually gave me the guidance and having a purpose, because then it was like, you know what, I am not going to be the mother that my mother was. I'm going to be there. I'm going to support. I'm going to guide. So it kind of grounded me into that. So I started making sure that I stopped partying and I did all the things, right? And then as each one of my kids came along, I feel like they each came at a time that it was like a wake-up call, like, hello, you need to be doing something other than you're doing right now, because just because I had my children didn't mean I still made the great mistakes. I ended up getting married to an abusive man. There was still a lot of proving that I was not loved or valued or supported, right? So fast forward more, I ended up finding personal training and I started to dive into the physical body. I wanted to learn all the things about the physical body, what made us who we are, to have the strength, to be that strong person. And I did that for a very long time. And then I moved on to yoga. And at that point in time, it's like, I'm too strong. I was called the ice princess. Like someone even said I was the ice princess. As soon as they said that, I was like, oh, I'm cold. Yeah. And that
Yeah.
like it hurt me, you know? So I started doing yoga and I started to realize that it's not all the physical body. It's like I loved how I felt being in that moment and the peace and the calm. So I started to move towards helping people and loving themselves that way, and not just their physical appearance, but through
Mm,
who they are as a being.
mm,
And then from that point, I ended up teaching yoga. And then I found coaching because I wanted to guide people in questions. I felt like, okay, I can teach you how to get to that space with yoga, but now I'm not guiding you to go deeper. So I got certified as a coach. And then from there, that's when I found human design. After that certification, and it kind of was just like the icing on the top because, through my entire life, I have an undefined G center. So through my entire life, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what direction I was going. I now that I know this, I understand.
yeah.
But I needed that validation that everything that I was doing was in fact true and it wasn't like made up. And that's what human design gave me. It was like that tangible evidence that, oh, inadequacy that's part of your unconscious or in your conscious sun. You have an open G. So all of those things combined then grounded me
Yeah.
into, okay, this was supposed to be my life. Like I have the 28 two times. I'm supposed to struggle. I have the 38. I have that whole channel. Like I'm supposed to fight. I'm supposed to struggle. I'm not supposed to have support, you
Mm,
know? So once I learned that, there was even more that came up because, like you said, in human design, we have our own nuances.
mhm.
So within that, I first learned about myself. And then I realized that most of my life, I had been suppressing my voice because my mother didn't listen to me. She didn't acknowledge me. She believed other people. She never took my side. She didn't support me. And then I created the physical manifestation of the voice with my ex-husband who would choke me anytime that I would express myself.
Mm,
So within all of this, I realized that I'd been suppressing myself. I've been suppressing my voice. And it was because of all of these modalities coming together that I really learned to slow down and to express and not be fearful in some of the things that a lot of people don't talk about.
that is, I mean, it's so fascinating to me. I feel like every person I've met that has, you have the 2145 channel, every person I've met with that channel has stories of their voice being suppressed and feeling like they are not heard at all. Like very dramatic experiences. Not dramatic, but like big
Mhm.
experiences. And I find it fascinating. And one other thing you said that oh shoot, now I lost it. It'll come back. Um the, the your ability to work through these different things throughout your life. How long ago did you discover human design and did some of those last things click into place?
Human design, I believe was 5 years ago.
Okay.
I started. Um, and I feel like human design, honestly, for me, was very easy
Mhm.
just because I had done over 10 years of yoga and meditation and pranayama. So there was already a lot of releasing. And
Mhm.
I am the cross of tension. So I do hold a lot of tension in my physical body. And for me, that's why it's interesting that I did personal training with the physical body. And then the yoga practice that I teach in and that I trained in is not like for the light of heart. It's Ashtanga yoga, it's hardcore. And it
Mhm.
was all about releasing the physical emotions and experiences that I held in my body.
Yeah.
So I had done all of that. So when I found human design, it was like I had released all this stuff already. So I was
Mhm.
able to digest it.
Mhm.
Whereas I feel like a lot of people get the information of human design, but they haven't done the deconditioning yet. So
Mhm.
it's just more information. And you can't bring in more if you're not letting go of the old.
Totally. Oh, and I remember what I wanted to ask you. So gate 28 and struggle and hearing that your life is meant to be a little bit of a struggle. How did understanding that, learning that, because I can see that being something that someone would look at and be like, well, shit, now my life is just fucked because I have to struggle. And they almost get stuck in the lower expression of that instead of rising to the higher expression. So I would love to hear kind of your take on that when you first learned it and understood it.
I will say I've always been very positive. I don't know how. I have Sagittarius in my Sagittarius rising, first of all. Sagittarius also in my North Node. So I've always had that Jupiter kind of positivity. And I always knew in my heart that the struggle was for a reason. Like even when people ask me, would you remarry your ex with everything? And I was like, yeah, I have my son and I've learned from it. I don't blame him. So I've always had that insight, but when I did learn that, it was like, oh, thank goodness. Like there's a reason for this, which 28 is purpose. Yeah. So of course there's a reason that I'm struggling. There's a reason that I've been fighting, and my 28 is in my Mercury. So it truly is what I'm here to talk about. And it's in Scorpio, which is like, yeah, right. That's just a lot of stuff.
It's deep. Yeah.
Yes. So I always kind of knew it, but then when I saw it, it was like, oh, okay, great. There's a reason. It's not like life is not just hard. It's not because I'm not a good person or I'm not making the right decisions, or yes, some of the decisions definitely were not right, but they were what I needed. Mm-hmm. And it just gave me the permission to actually let the belief that my life was so hard go, because then I recognized that this is exactly what my life was supposed to be. And my 48 is my conscious sun. So truly all of my experiences and struggles are for me to support others through my wisdom. Yeah. And I have even said this, I've said this numerous times, like I can take it. Like there's certain people that when things come to them, they like cower and they're fearful. And I'm just like, I can stand. I'm like, give it to me. Like, yeah. I got it, you know? And I know that's because of my experiences, and it's because who I am. And I love that. I love that I'm a fighter now.
Did you find it difficult to talk about the struggles, or has that kind of always been, yeah, I struggled and I overcame?
Before I found human design, I did not talk about the struggles.
Okay. Yeah.
When I found human design and I realized it's in my Mercury, it's like, okay, it's what I'm here to talk about. So my family, you better like be okay with this, because I knew I was going to get backlash, and I did with a lot of the things that came up, and I still talk about. They're like, we're a little worried about some of the things that you shared with us about when you were younger. And I was like, why? It's truth. I was drinking, I was doing drugs, I was doing all the things. Yeah. It's the truth. And it's like, I'm not going to pretend. So it took courage to kind of like, okay, I'm going to get backlash from my family. I'm becoming vulnerable. There's lots of crying, but I've realized now that through my sharing that the crying doesn't come up anymore, because I'm kind of like, I've released it. There's certain aspects that still get to me a little bit, but it doesn't affect me the way it did before, because I've released the beliefs that I've had about whatever it is that I experienced.
Yeah. Sorry, there's a helicopter going by and it's like shaking the whole house.
I can't even hear it.
Oh, good. Rattling around me.
No, I can't hear it.
Great. This is a great microphone then. Oh, I love that. And I love that you see so much purpose in sharing the struggles and sharing how you've overcome it. And it does take courage to share that. And especially with your open solar plex and understanding all of that. Do you feel like sharing those stories has brought you down to a path of your own purpose? And what does that look like in like business terms, right? If we change it to from this is who I am to how I show up in the world and run a business, how has all of that transpired?
At first, when I first started sharing, it was very like vulnerable, and I kind of was fearful in the way that I shared, because I was fearful in how people would react. And so my business wasn't really in alignment with me.
Mm-hmm.
When you see my spleen, I have, I think, every activation except for two. So I am courageous. I definitely am not afraid to do things. I've done many things. Um, and I've realized through my expression and through my sharing, it's given me the strength in my voice to actually project. I don't mean to project onto people, but
Yeah.
to project or kind of have that strength and that courage so that people can feel that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, a lot of times we're fearful in how we share. We're fearful what people will say. We're fearful in what other people will react. And with the provocation too, that was a huge thing for me, because I would say things and people would be provoked and they would lash out at me. And then I would think something was wrong with me, or I shouldn't have said that. I don't know why I hurt their feelings. But now that I know, it's like, that's your stuff. That's not mine. So you deal with that. I'm here to like truly
Yeah.
with the cross attention, I'm truly here to like create that tension. I'm here to provoke people into change.
Mm-hmm.
And people are not going to always love that. And
Mm-hmm.
now I've got to the place that I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's nothing against me. It means you're not ready for me. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that I think I'm at a higher potential in you. It's just that we are not on the same frequency, and it's all good.
I
And
love that.
that's kind of like my branding now, I feel like, because you mentioned
I love your
that you
branding.
love
Like,
that.
love. I'm obsessed with it.
Well, and I've fully only been stepping into that probably for like 3 or 4 months. And it's finally because of that provocation, because it's like, no, this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to provoke people. And if you love it, great. If you don't, whatever. It doesn't
Yeah.
make me cower back down. Like, I'm here to be bold. I have my Chiron is in Aries too. So I have like all this stuff. Like, it's all about boldness and courage and in your face and provoking. I will say I've had a couple times when people have told me, that I think someone said they don't like the way that I put myself out there because it's too much, which is something that I always kind of felt like I was too much, because I have 3 of the 4 motors to my throat, and it hurt because it's like,
Yeah.
like I'm just finding myself and now I'm too much,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? So,
Yeah.
but that was an opportunity to kind of like, okay, you're not going to be loved by everyone. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. I admire that a lot. I mean, our charts are really similar. I have the right angle cross of tension, slightly different than yours as well. Um, and so much the same. And I think I admire what you're doing in your branding because, well, I think my branding is me. There is a lot of like softness and to me in general. And that's what my branding is. It's a lot soft. It's very soft. Um, I admire the, like, bold when I see it, like, really love the bold, and I feel like I haven't been able to fully step into that bold myself, but I feel like it's coming down the road,
Mhm.
but every time anyone that has that are, like, bold, it's not moody, it's bold. It's I know who I am, like, like, there's a queendom to it, and I freaking love it. Love it. And I think I
Have
just
you gone into your chart more to see like what aspects your Chiron is in astrology and house and all that kind of stuff?
A little bit, but it hasn't been a study, no. Yeah.
That was the key component
Mhm.
that really helped me, because it's like, okay, my Chiron, because the Chiron is the wounded healer, right? So a lot of the
Yep,
times we're here to speak about what we're wounded about and help support people in that.
yep.
And for me, it's in the 5th house, which is like there's a mother wound there. There's too much seriousness, not having fun. My entire life, I was serious. Like, I worked, I was serious. And then it was in Aries, which is bold. And then my North Node is in my 1st house. Like, it's all about me.
Mhm.
Whereas I've been told forever by my mom that I was like selfish. I always thought of myself. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's in my chart. That's what I'm here to be
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
So when I learned those aspects, it was almost like it it was like, oh yeah, like now I
Yeah.
have permission to like truly be in that, even though you always know it's there.
Mhm.
When you see that, you kind of can
Mm.
like step forward a little bit more.
Totally, and I see that with my clients too, that when you say like, "Okay, here's your messaging and how we're pulling things together," they're like, "That's what I wanna say. That's how I want it to be." And it's confirmation, and then it is that, it's the confirmation that, yes, I can do this, that it is who I am. I'm not making it up. It's not something that it's so deep within them. Yeah. Are you single definition? I can't remember.
I am. Hmm.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, I
super
have
independent chart.
sacral to
Yep.
the root to the spleen, spleen to the throat, throat to the will.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Sacral to the root, to the spleen, to the throat, and then to the G center. No, sorry. It's the G center to the sacral. Blaming.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so it's just a little bit of difference there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I always recommend to, for I feel like we're in evolution constantly. So, like, my business has definitely shifted and it
Mhm.
continues to. I truly feel like if you stop shifting and growing,
Mm.
then your business is going to stay stagnant too.
Yeah.
So, of
Yeah.
course, your copywriting is going to shift. Of course, the way you put yourself out there is going to shift because
Yeah.
you're growing. So,
Yeah.
if you're not shifting and moving, then I would say really look into what are you doing for your deconditioning? Because if you want to step more boldly into who you are and you know there's something there, but you're just not doing it, it's usually because there's something that needs to be like deconditioned and
Mhm.
stepped into.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I always tell clients too that your messaging is always shifting. Mine's always shifting. You go back and look at least every 6 months and go, "Is this actually still aligned? Is there something I can tweak? Is there something I've learned over the last 6 months that I can put into this?" Yeah.
Mhm.
100%. I love that. I love that. Um, how do you work with clients? Talk about the business aspects. I love talking business.
Ooh, well, that's evolving too.
I love it.
There's been a huge shift happening for me. The reason it's happened is because I did get a little bit lost within a partnership that I had. Um, Not anyone's fault. I have an undefined G, so I got lost in
Yeah.
who I was. So I realized, wait a minute, I need to reconnect to myself, and I
Mhm.
need to put myself in my branding
Mhm.
because I do have the North Node in the first house. Like it is about me. It is about, that teacher aspect in Sagittarius. So that happened. So I kind of pulled back. I did all the work on the voice. And I will add just a side note, some of the deconditioning that I'm doing on the voice actually has to do with the physical body because of my tension, cross of tension. I'm getting trained in equine gestalt. I don't know if you know what that is.
Never heard of that. What is that?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love horses. There's always been a connection to horses. And Gestalt truly is creating the experience over so that you actually can express and say the things that you never were able to say.
Oh, wow.
So on my last core that I went to, they created this experience of my ex-husband. Um, okay, so there might be tears. Created the experience of my ex-husband where he locked me out of the house and he was sitting in the rocking chair singing to my son that your mom's such a bitch. um, so what they did is they had this person go in this corner here and they had said all these key aspects. Oh, your mom's such a bitch, or you're so stupid. Like, so they're like triggering me.
Uh-huh.
And then my coach is guiding me with a racket. I have a racket and a cube. And I was supposed to hit this cube with this racket to release all of the stuff from my physical body. And in the beginning, I was like, I don't know. I'm not such an angry person. I think I've worked through all this stuff. It's like a long time ago. And then she had me hit the cube once just to try it on. And I was like, oh. And then, like, they just triggered me.
Mm.
And I was able to say, you do not deserve to be a father. You do not, like, I was able to say everything that I wasn't allowed to say in
Chills.
my, yeah. And after that, a huge shift
Yeah.
released for me, because I realized that I had been keeping down my voice because of fear of being liked, the fear of being too much, the fear of losing people, the fear of people not loving me, the fear of having to defend myself, the fear of looking angry. I've been told before that when I get angry, it's almost scary, but I don't get angry a lot. But that is because why? It was all suppressed. Like I didn't let all of that out. So I'd been doing physical release work. And with that, there's been this awareness of the suppression of the voice and how most of society suppresses, like to make people feel comfortable or to not hurt people's feelings, or you're physically not allowed to say it, or, we're all suppressing our voices.
Yeah.
And because of that, that is why I am so I don't even know what the word is. I'm really focused on our self-expression. We have the right to speak our feelings. We have the right to express our true thoughts and emotions, even if it does hurt someone's feelings. It's not through reaction, but through like needing to express. And I went on a tangent and I don't even remember the question.
Oh my God, that was incredible. I mean, that's so true, that how much we bite our tongue, as my mom would always say, so that we're not upsetting someone. I even think of my own kids and when they are self-expressing in their anger, disappointment, or whatever, and how much it triggers in me a whole bunch of crap, and I want to immediately suppress them, right? And it's in going through that journey of understanding that it's triggering me, and how can I allow them to express without being triggered myself? I mean, that's a whole thing as a parent too. But yeah, you're right. We do it so often without even thinking about it. We don't even realize we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I love that you brought up the kids too, because human design it's really, when we incorporate it with the kids, it really supports them in being authentic and being able to express themselves. And I really work on human design with my daughter, and I made big choices with her based on her chart. And she has an undefined throat. And so she will scream above everyone to be seen, to be heard. And like everyone used to be like, what the heck? Why is she so loud?
Yeah.
And now that I've realized this, I've explained it to her, and to have her just say, you know what, this person was not listening to me. It's like I wasn't even there. And then she says under her breath, oh, she doesn't know I have an undefined throat. It's like, okay, she's not making this belief that no one hears her, loves her, values her. She realizes it's the energy. And I just want to say, like, just think if all of us had the opportunity when we were kids to understand that, and how much more freedom and expression we would truly be in our lives, in our business, in our family, in every aspect.
Yeah. One of my greatest goals as a parent is to get my children to adulthood where they don't have to go and find themselves and decondition a whole bunch of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's things, because I mean, they're here for a reason. They're here for growth as well, right? There's going to be things, but not into the degree that I feel like we have had to do. Yeah.
Now I know. It was how I work with people.
That
Yes,
was a
because
good
as you were
MG
talking, I was
tangent. I
like,
love
that's
it.
how I work with people. So that's how I work with people, is through, like, there's readings I give initially. But it's really truly through the voice. Learning about where you're conditioned, why you're holding things in, going into some of the shadow work, releasing that voice. I even have this program that I'm going to be running where we're actually going to be practicing using the voice, whether it be chanting, singing, expression. So we're all going to be using the voice in ways that we feel like we can't within our family right away, because it'll create chaos because they're not used to it.
Yeah.
So I work with people in the voice. And then what made me think of this is then it's the gene keys. So going into that deeper level of the gene keys after that, as far as like what your core wounds are. Why? Like, because our kids have core wounds. We can't protect them, but we can definitely support them
Yeah.
and knowing what those are. So I also work in the deeper aspects as far as the core wounds and the energetics of the gene keys.
Oh, oh, so good. So good. What has been your, I guess, the greatest gift in entrepreneurship for you?
Honestly, I would say it's the opportunity to keep growing,
Hmm.
because I feel like every person comes into my life for a reason, and I learn from every person I get to connect with as well. There's always that sharing and receiving, right? If we put it in human design, even the defined and the undefined, there's always that connection there. So
Yeah.
there's always perspectives that I can take in. There's always things I get to learn about myself. And then I also get to do that for other people. In my prosperity, I have the Pearl 37 in the Gene Keys, which is in line 4. And it's all about service, and it's about humanity and loving humanity and having love. So that's what my biggest thing is as far as my entrepreneurship. I've been able to love myself, learn to love myself, and actually love others for who they are. Whereas if you knew me before, I did not open myself up to anyone. I didn't trust anyone. It was me against the world.
The
And
ice
now
queen.
it's like, yes, exactly. Ah. And now it's like I love everybody. So I
Yeah.
get to see and feel and connect. And that's the greatest gift for my entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Oh, and I feel that from you. I feel there is, oh, yeah, I don't, the ice queen, when you said that, I was like, that's not you at all. Like, you are so just vibrant and loving and just come with just this acceptance. Unconditional love, I guess, is the energy I get
Mm,
from you. Yeah.
I'll take that.
Um, is there anything that you feel like you want people to know about the work you do, human design in general, you in general? You feel like this this needs to come out.
Well, first of all, human design is a great tool. It's not everything.
Mhm.
It gives you the opportunity to have the space of awareness of where you have the most conditioning so that you can release it and then become a higher potential of who you're here to be.
Yeah.
So that's human design. And that's actually what I truly want to support people in, whether it be through the voice alone, because
Mm.
I do the embodied voice where it's just about the voice activation and self-expression, or if it's through connection and healing of like the DNA with the gene keys.
Yeah.
So it's not a one all though. And it doesn't put you in a box. I want to say that because a lot of people I've talked to, it's like, well, I'm a projector. I can't do that, or I can't do this. And that is not true.
No.
It's like,
Mhm.
it's a yes and.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
have the potential to create a higher potential of what you believe that you could create in your life. And the human design is a way to tangibly see that so that you can let that go and
Mhm.
then move forward.
Mhm. 100%. I always tell people if there's something that you hear about human design that makes you feel boxed in or less than or struggle in some way, like it's not that's not real. That's not what it is meant to do. It is meant to set you free and understand who you are in a deeper way. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I love that. Love that. And you have a really cool freebie. Like, I'm gonna go download this because it sounds awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, it's called, I named it the Prosperity Codes. So it is a flip book. So you can download it online where it's a flip book, and there's also the option for the PDF. So if you like to have tangible things like I do, you can also have that. It goes through each one of the 64 gates in human design, and it goes through the lens of prosperity. So what is gate 1? How do you feel most prosperous if you have gate 1? How do you feel most prosperous if you have gate 48? So it goes through that lens of prosperity, because honestly, we all experience prosperity differently.
Mhm.
And if you can start looking through the lens of prosperity within those gates, then that is the higher frequency. You'll start to move towards that frequency
Yeah.
rather than staying in the lower controlled frequency,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's why I created that. And side note, the names of the gates are different because they match the names of my Oracle deck that's going to be coming out. That's not finished yet.
Oh, that's exciting. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Oh, I love it. Love it. You're just
Yay.
like a girl of many talents. Good old MG energy. I love it. Awesome. Oh, Miranda, this was such a fantastic conversation. Thank you so, so much for coming on the show and sharing your experience, your struggles and your challenges that you've overcome to be where you are today and helping people overcome their challenges with their voice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.